All righty, Doc from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's another fun-filled day. It's the second to the last day of the week, so that's not too bad. Yesterday's title. What was yesterday's title? It was like something about the flow. It was without a doubt. It is. Let me just see what yesterday's title was. It's probably on here, actually. It's probably right in front of me. So it looks like Janos had put it up really quick, so that's good. Yeah, QE reduces flowing markets. That's right. And today's a perfect example of it. The Fed. The Fed is just. Let's show you onto the short term. Let's see. Let me go back to here. Let me open this up. Open. But without a doubt, yesterday the Fed came out and he says, "Oh, we're cutting 3 times this year." Cutting 3 times this year? It's like, so I guess we thought maybe they would do it June. Nobody with any common sense thinks they should do any cuts this year because the inflation keeps on climbing up. But then this is from the same, as we would like to say, like in movies, from the same gang that tried to tell you that inflation is transitory for a year and a half almost. That don't worry, it's transitory. It's going to be done in like a month or a week or 3 weeks or 2 months. It'll be gone. We won't see this inflation. And then inflation went up to almost 10%. I think the official rate was 9.1 or something like that. And then what's fascinating out of all this is that Larry Summers, this is used to be head of Harvard's, I guess he was dean of Harvard, and he was Mr. Clinton's Secretary of Treasury. He's an economist. He's a half decent economist. He's not bad. He's okay. He doesn't come up with. Let's put it this way: some of these Democrat economists, are like 90% of the time wrong. This guy is. I want to say he's like 70% of the time right, which is pretty impressive, which is very unique for a Democrat congressman. And so it really sticks out. And he started looking at, I guess he probably knew, because he's now, he was Secretary of Treasury for Clinton. And during the Clinton years, they changed the way they were doing, I guess it's 94 he's claiming that they did this. This is right before Clinton lost to Congress. And so what they did is what's going on here? Chrome, skip, there we are. Okay, there's the chat line. There's Robin. Hey, Robin. So he came out yesterday, I guess it was, yesterday morning. No one's really talking about it too much, but he came out and said that they changed the way they do measure inflation, and they got rid of some really important things in inflation. And so he turned around and he went back. I guess it's like a Maya Copa or one of those things where you go like, oh, you know what, that was really a stupid idea. And so he oh good, hi. And so he puts it back in there and did the calculations. And he's saying that when we registered as 9.1, the inflation was 18 point something. It's like 18%. So he's saying that it's way off. So then he put out a statement yesterday morning about, or I guess it's 2 days ago now, where he sees inflation now. And he said inflation now is at 7.1. That's what he said. It's at 7.1 now. And so, if he knows that, and he sees that, then the Fed sees that. And as yesterday's title was, basically the Fed interfering with the flow of the market, basically. And so you can see yesterday, they zoomed to the moon. I mean, that was a rocket. Matter of fact, let's see if we can put it up there. Let's just show you. Let's see if I open this like so. Let's see if I do that. We have right now, I think you can see the dollar index. Which is interesting, is that the dollar index is moving back up again. And usually that means that, interest rates are going up. So yesterday you can see this right here. We'll just go like this. We're going to emphasize this week right there. So you can see yesterday is this one there. They slam it down, right? It was up making a high at 108, 103.8. And they slammed it down to 103, almost even. And then they dropped it underneath the 103 today. And it's already up to 103.24 with a high of 103.31. So it's reflecting something's off. In other words, if they were really cutting rates, wouldn't you think that this would be like down more today? Instead, money is saying, not so fast, not so fast. Now, I guess we've just had, what is it? I think there was housing starts and so forth that just came out, and I think some building starts and things like that have just come out information-wise. So that is an interesting thing there. What we're seeing at the moment, and that is that the dollar isn't buying it now. We've been saying here the inflation fighter, Switzerland, when we look at the Swiss currency, and they feel like they've gotten some control over it, and they lowered by a quarter percentage point. Now, England, the Bank of England, did not, so they're not sure which direction to take, obviously, but one thing is for sure, excuse me, one thing is for sure, and that is, and you know what, let's see if we can go back 2 days on this. Does this go back 2 days? I think it does. So Mr. Powell comes out, I guess it was 2 o'clock, so it would be 1:30, comes out. Mr. Powell comes out here. There it is right there. All right, we're going to throw up an intraday chart of yesterday on the S&P 500. And right there, Mr. Powell comes out, and you can see the market, the S&P 500 is at 523, so you can see like that. Let's put the line in there, but no reason. Yeah, we could do this. We could put a line in there, and then we can scrunch it down. So he comes out and basically, puts out the paper saying that they're going to be lowering rates. Let's put a big black line in there just to make it more functional or better to read. Like that. There it is. There we go. So that's where he puts out his paper of announcing what he's going to speak about. They always do that 15 minutes ahead of time. And then you can see the go from there. That they're like, what? He's going to do what? He's going to drop rates 3 times this year? When in fact, he keeps on claiming he's going to look at the stats, and you can see it goes from 540s to the 580s. And this is all the way to the close of the market. Here comes the close here. All day long they just drive up. No real ebb and flow. I mean, they just kind of, crank it. And it's tight too. It's a slow moving market. And then you can see going into, this is the close here, around the 5,288 area. That's the 5 o'clock close, basically, of the New York Stock Exchange right there. Right? And then it just shows you the world comes in, Asia opens up. They start to participate. There's, Japan and China and everybody else in the Pacific Rim. And you can see here, there's no real ebb and flow. Did they go down, 30, 40 points? No, they go down 5 points, just mild. Now, today they tried to take it down half decent from 315 down to around 303 for a little bit. But, they went back and, this is intraday buys and sells. You can see here, there's where the buy is right there, this one right there. And stayed in the buy all the way to right there. And then went back into the buy again, next bar. And I can't tell. Let's see what that is. What is that? That is, yeah, that's a sell. Goes into a sell. Goes back into the buy. I guess right there. Let's see. That is 5, 10, and even. And then that is 5, 10, and so it goes back into the sell there. or it stays in the sell throughout all that. Stays in the sell for those 3 bars, and it goes back into the buy again for that whole move all the way up to right there. This one right there. And then it stays in that sell all the way out to, I guess, right here. And then slides back into the sell. Let's see what these two are. Anyway, you can see the success of the math. But more than that is it's the flow. It's the actual flow of the marketplace. They interfere in the flow of the marketplace. They keep on, that's that Fed put we talked about yesterday. In other words, they're making sure he doesn't have to lower rates. He just has to say he's planning on lowering 3. And then if he only drops 1, the market's not exactly going to back off. We saw it already when they thought it was going to be 7. The market, the S&P 500 is up 500 points. It came from the 48 or 47 area, and here we are at the 53 area. So I mean, they can say things and the money comes in, and then after that the money doesn't go out, and you don't know if they're propping it up. You don't know. With QE, they have all the room in the world to do all this stuff. There's no stopping it. This is the Fed put. And here it is again. Here's the Fed put. And, when you have so much capital sitting on the sidelines, it leaves the door open for the Fed to do this stuff. And who's going to prosecute them or discipline them? There's nobody's out there doing that. I mean, the Republicans don't have enough votes to do anything but complain. That's all they can do. They won't shut the economy, or let's put it this way, they won't shut the government down. That's what the problem is. They just, they're coming up to it again, and they're dodging it again. They don't want to shut the government down, because if they shut it down, then the news media will talk about how they're starving babies and children, and just the whole thing. It'll just be, one slow drumbeat over and over how evil they are. Evil, 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 evil. That's all they'll do. Drag it on, torture our heads. Now let's go over to the euro, and it's still calculating out, isn't it? Okay. Let's see there's gold. Gold's fine. I want to see. Remember yesterday we were looking at the euro, and let's do this. Let's kill that one right there. Bingo. There we go. And let's see. There's the end. There's the dollar index. That's curious, you can see that right there. It's why is it holding up? It doesn't seem to, and then you got to imagine somewhere's around here. Somewhere's in here, the Swiss lowered their interest rate, and it dropped for a little bit, but then it's turning back up again. Wow. Okie dokie. All right, so that is that. And as you see, again, with the dollar index itself, we just showed you the intraday part, but you can see that right there. It doesn't seem to want to be letting go, and so I'm curious. I know that the only reason the dollar goes up is because interest rates are firm. And but Mr. Powell is saying that he's going to cut 3 times. See, that's why they refer to the bond vigilantes and the currencies as vigilantes. They can't control them. They try. They try to manipulate interest rates, and they try to shift interest rates, and they try to do all this stuff. But in the end result is that they can't. They can't. They just can't. And so, in the end result, as you can see, in the bond market. Let's see what the bond market's doing too. There it is. Now you can see here, that's the 30-year bond. Oh, you can't see that. Here we go. Here's a 30-year bond, and it is lifting more. We went into the buy a couple days ago, and you can see the weekly's lifting up. So they're the government bonds. That's the government bonds. They're trying to perk up. We'll see how well they do. Looks like they're climbing into a buy. You would assume if the Fed says they're going to cut rates 0.75 between now and the end of the year, you would assume this thing would be roaring, up. They're not reaching for it so aggressively, but they are lifting up for it, and they were anticipating it. You can see that. And looks like there'll be no problem. It'll go into a buy. Yep. Huh. All right. So that's the bonds, and that's telling you. Now, we'll see if they take out this high here. I would assume 0.75 move that's what all this is about. Here, the price. That's what this is the price of the bonds. Not the yield, not the interest rate, just the price of the bond. So you would assume, as the price rises, interest rates are dropping. So it is telling us that they believe there is something coming. There's no doubt about it. You can see the weekly's doing the same thing. And we'll watch and see. But we're a tad, again, very curious of the fact that the dollar is not being pushed down from yesterday. That's the odd part. Let's go back to the dollar right there. That's the odd part right there. Right there. And there's, look at that. They drove it down yesterday. And now they're picking it back up and trying to get back to the point right there where Mr. Powell, that was 2 days ago. If they get back up to there, something's wrong with, let's put it this way. I've seen a lot of people in the last 24 hours say, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I figure that the one thing we can believe is that they will lower rates in June. They'll drop a quarter point there. Now the question is, when will they do the next two? Will it be November and December? Maybe so. That's what it might be. And by then, Mr. Trump should be elected as president. So that might be what's really going on here in the end, is that the Fed is thinking that Mr. Biden's gone. Because there's no way in the world they could lower rates with the way he's been spending money. All right, let's get on to the euro. Let's go see what the euro is up to. There's the euro right there. And you can see the euro popped from that news yesterday. We were watching it in the 108 area, looking at that 108, what was it, 20 or something like that? 108, right around there. Let's see if it's updated yet. Let's see if it's done that. And there it is there. I think it was the 108.20 that we were looking at. Let's see. Let's go like this. There's silver. Let's see who is not updated. I'm going to delete who is not updated. And almost everybody's updated, isn't it? Cable's updated. Gold is updated. Everybody's updated but the euro now. Okay. They're all updated. All right. So the only one left is... Let's try this. That's why. Let's see if we can find that line from yesterday. If I go like this, if I scrunch it up, we put a line in there we were watching yesterday. There it is right there. Okay, so we were watching the 108.45. That's what it was. It was the 108.45. So now what we'll do is we'll go like this. Go like that. Put the 2 in there. Put the 2 in there. And let it do its job again. There we go. And so it was the 108.45 we were watching. Obviously, it's trading at 109, so it did what we were talking about it was going to do, but I'd like to show it to you at the same time because it's 55 points higher now, or 65 points higher now. So 65 points higher. Let's go back to the daily. That'll help out there. And so there's the euro. And what is today's low? Today's low is 108.87. So it's definitely supported it with no problem whatsoever. You can see here the euro is holding up very well. Yeah, well, let's put it this way. It lifted very well from the news yesterday. It's down for the day, but in our math, it's still holding up fine. The weekly's doing very well. The daily's doing very well. They're not running away from it, that's for sure. So then from there, let's see, where are we at? So from there, let me think. Maybe I'll do that. That's a good idea. And so then from there, let me think. What do we do from there? We go like this. Bing, 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 bing. Bill Johnson is okay. Okay, let's go back to there. All right. So from there, we go over to the cable. Might as well check out the cable at this point. We're just moving along here. They did not change the interest rates, and then we'll go to the euro from there. In fact, I should let's see if let's do that. There is the cable. The cable, without them shifting the rates and staying high, you would thought that it would have, but it didn't. And so, they lifted it up there, and now they're knocking it back down again, just like the euro. Curious in in this whole universe there. The euro hasn't filled in yet, and let's put that back up there again. There we are. So that is the euro. We'll go over to the cable and look at that. There's the cable. That's where they did not raise the rates. I'm sorry, this is where they didn't lower the rates. They left them high. So then they realized it, and they rally it back up to it, and now they're knocking it back down. I have to say that there seems to be, what can you say? I would have to assume money realizes that this is not realistic. So in other words, but they don't want to miss the boat. As they always like to say, I'm not going to miss the boat. They see Senate weighs taking up House passed TikTok bill. Well, they're still trying. Schumer's holding it off. I think that money is just nibbling, and what they're doing is they're betting on the Fed put, but they're not really jumping in with both feet. I think that's what it comes down to. I guess that's the only way you can look at it, really. At least that's the way in my head. So, today's conversation has been basically is that we're looking, wow, what a delay. I'm watching the what is that? That's like a 6-7 minute delay going on with the broadcast. That's something. Wow. Because right now I'm seeing on the screen where we're looking at when we went back and looked at the euro about 7 minutes ago, 6-7 minutes ago, 5-6 minutes ago, something like that. Interesting. All right, so yeah, I don't think money's really committing itself, and again, it's just the Fed put, and we're just stuck in that universe for the last 14 years. Is it now? 15, 16 years almost now. We're going at it by election time. It'll be 16 years of quantitative easing. That's when they did it, right after Mr. Obama got elected. Not sworn in, got elected, because of the collapsing of the financial system. I'm seeing Mr. Obama get in. Oh, my God. All right, so from there, we'll swing over to the Swiss. Let's put the Swiss up there. get the Swiss in there. There it is right there. You see the Swiss has lifted up. Let's see. So they lowered their interest rate, right? So you get less money on your money in a bank account. So that meant that people were selling Swiss. They're selling Swiss and buying dollars. Because they're making less money on their Swiss money. And so we're now, what's that, 7 days in a buy. And we are now 9 weeks in a weekly buy. So money, I don't know, they may have realized, I believe the interest rate is only was 1.5. Now it's at 1.25. So it's not exactly like a big move. Everybody's doing quarters now, which is nice. Quarters are a lot better than anything else as far as I'm concerned. Just a quarter here, a quarter there is fine. And let's see. From there, we go over to the yen. Let's see what the yen is up to. And there's the yen. Yen is hanging out at 45-year highs or something like that, right around there. You can see the weekly is definitely penetrating. I thought I had a little squarey thing on that. Right there. I thought I put that squarey thing on there before. There was last week right there. It was still underneath. And now both are joining in. You can see the weekly, or the daily right here, has been in the buy since the 47 area. And now we're at the 51 area. And I'm going to just take a quick look. Let's show you too. Why not? We're going to put the Nikkei up on the beta, so you can see that. There's the Nikkei and the beta. So, it's a. Oh, okay, cool. Euro is filled in also, which is nice. We can look at that. I like to look at that. Okay. And then let me just do this too. But there is the Nikkei. Nikkei is at all-time highs, and boy, they've needed to do that. That's for sure. You see, and because they've raised rates. That whole situation where they're raising the rates. And see, dollar Swiss, right there. Like that. So with the Nikkei, let's see, what's that? Wow, cool. What is that? 96 tick. Excellent. Okay. There we are. Now what we're going to do is zip back. We're going to go back for a second to the euro on the intraday. Because I just wanted to show you what we were talking about yesterday. And there it is there. And then we go like, is that the euro? Yeah, that's the euro. Okay, so then we go back. There's that yellow line. And we talked about these threes that usually occur. So it was like this. We got the hit here that hit this as a resistance, hit there as a resistance. That's why we had the spots there. Had that one there. Normally the fourth one will take off, and by the end of the webinar, I believe we figured it would run up to this point here, but in this time here it took a fifth one to do it. Became the hitch and took off and got up in this area, and that's what we were just talking about. It was just one of those signs of a trade. So it was just something we talked about yesterday. I thought was well worth watching. And then you could see that became the resistance, and it was 1, 2, and 3. And this time or you could call that a 3 there, you could call it a 3 there, and it hesitated, but it didn't come back down to there to challenge it, and took off even more. And then when the Fed got going, it was like a front-running thing. That's where the Fed, came out and let us know that they were going to drop the rates 3 times, and that was the beginning of the bottom right there. Just thought I'd just show you that. It's always kind of fun. Let's do this. I'm going to go back to 1 day now, but like that. There we go. And then let's look at the Swiss. There's the Swiss. This is where they changed their rates, and it went from the 88.70 area up to the 89.70 area. Wow, this is a heck of a jump, wasn't it? 89 versus 88, one full handle, and then back and filled a little bit, and then off it went. Let's see. Let's see if we can put insert study. Let's see, where's it at? Let's cancel that, and let's do this. Let me go like right here. Right there. There it is, right there. Make a copy of this. Copy. Then paste. And then, let me just double check. Good. Okay, so that's fine. And we're going to put the Swiss in there, and we're going to see what our math did with that. Talk about living and dying by our math. Let's see, what's that? USD. USD. There it is. There it is, right there. And so that is the Swiss. Let's back it off to the math when the news came out. There it is. So I guess we go like this, we widen it again, and then push it over like so. So they front runned it. You can see that. We're making it so you can see it. So it's this area right here. Let's put this in. Basically, they gave a heads up to some people right there. And I guess if we widen it more and more and more, you can see. And so it went into the buy right here. Intraday buy right there. And 6 minutes later, or 7, let's see, what was that? That was at 4:23. And then they made the announcement at 4:30. No, right there. They made the announcement right there. Right there was the announcement. Our math really started to explode right here on this one. That's the thing, is our math really just leaped off of it right there. Let's put a line in there too. I love watching front running. It's always fascinating. And every time I would bring this to the Securities Exchange Commission, they would just shake their head and not pay attention to me. It was amazing. It's like, here's documented proof right there. There's the math showing it. They're front running it. Once you go look at these trades right here, look at the trades right here. Who's doing those trades? Right there. Right there. Look and see. You can see. You're the Federal Reserve. You're the federal government. You're the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. You're the Securities Exchange Commission. Look and see who made those trades right there. Right there. And stop them from front running. And they would never listen to me. Instead, they attack me. That's all they do. So, anyhow, that's it right there. And you can see, even then, you can see it really starts to spike. Let's change that color. Let's see, how do we do this? Cancel and go like that. There we go. There it is. Yep. That thievery right there. It's so obvious and so easy to document, but they refuse to do it. Anyhow, that was the move. That was fun. Hurrah, hurrah. All right, traders, where are we at now? Let's go over to, we just got done looking at the Nikkei. Did we look at the Nikkei? I think we did. We looked at the Nikkei. Yeah, that's the intraday itself. And let's go back to the daily right there. There's the Nikkei. So from the Nikkei, it looks like it will climb back into that buy too, right there. It's trying. It's Thursday. We got one more day. If it breaks the manifold by today, then maybe we got a 99% chance it's closing there. So now let's look at the great what do you call it? The Great Experiment. That's right. So they went up and made the third highest high today, but has backed off, chilled a little bit. And look at that, it's pushing into the sell again. For the weekly, no, it doesn't care. It's moving north. We got that going north. What's up here? I'm seeing something. From there, we go over to the South African Rand. Right there, there's the South African Rand. They knocked it down. It's gaining against the dollar. See that? Gaining against the dollar. And obviously, lower interest rates help out the metals complex. So let's go over and look at... Oh, you couldn't even see some of that stuff. I just realized that. Let me just show you what I was mumbling about on the front running on the Swiss. But my math picks that up most of the time, if not all the time, the front run. Let me go over and show you. Let's see, where's that? Right there, right there. And right there. Let's get rid of that. Bingo. Well, here's the emphasis of it, right there. You can see that right there. That's the announcement coming out right there. Right? You see that? Now we're going to show it to you with our math in there. There it is there with the math in there. And we'll show you. We got a block around it. There it is right there. So we were in the buy right here. We went into the buy right there in our math. And that's 7 minutes before the news comes out. And all they do is keep it in the buy, showing the strength coming in. You know, it tells us that they're front running it because money's coming into it when it doesn't look like it's coming into it. And then the news comes out right there. And it launches. You know, just launches. So these guys here are front runners. Go look and see who was doing all the buying in there. They can do that. It's a very easy thing to do because it's called clearing. That's what the cryptos. That's why they don't like the cryptos, is because it's hard for them to see the delivery or the buying and selling. And since they don't enforce it, what's the difference at this point? They're a bunch of, the government agencies are a bunch of thieves, basically. So, and that's the action right there. All right, and that's what we were talking about. There it is. There's the example. All right, now let's go over to, we'll take a look at gold, since we see that the South African Rand is gaining. You can see it there. Yesterday it took off, went into the buy. It's doing it again today. We're seeing that strength there. And you can see the same thing over in, let's see, where's it at? Right, where's it at? Let's put it in right there. You see it's same thing in the beta. There's the beta. So, you can see that strength coming in because it's cheaper to carry. With interest rates lower, it's not as expensive to hold on to. All right, and from there, let's take a look at silver. Silver seems to be a little screwy this morning on there, last I looked. Our silver is all cleaned up, and it's actually moving down a little bit today, which is curious. And our beta, having that issue there, same situation, trying to move down. Let's show you the beta. Beta heading down too, putting that pressure on it. Then copper. Copper slid into the sell yesterday and has lifted up again. So I don't, I just don't have any, I heard somebody this morning say something about China and hoping that they are going to stimulate their economy. I heard that part. So when they start talking about stimulation to the Chinese economy, usually you see positive action on the copper market. That is usually the strength of it all. And so that's where we are now, is we're seeing that strength in the copper market. It slid into the sell. Let's put it up on this one too. It slid into the sell yesterday, but it's starting to reach back up again and get going. Yeah, that's what it's doing. You can see it right there. So there it is right there. And you can see copper is trying to lift back up. It's in the sell, and it's slowly working its way back down again. But it's still higher than yesterday. And we'll see what they do with that action. The weekly's been holding on very strong. Yo, Robin.
Yeah, silver's up like 46 cents.
It's
You mentioned silver was showing some weakness.
yeah. Let me go.
It's up 46 cents.
Let me check it out again. I got the May contract at 25.49.
25.57. Go look up CME Group, CME Silver quote. It'll pop up on the screen.
Okay. I mean, at one point I had silver at silver was at 25.97.5. That's the high. Almost 26. Yeah.
May silver I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. May silver.
25.56.
Yeah, I have 25.97.5.
I'm just telling you what their quote said because I heard.
Yeah, no, I know. And now they're down to 48.
No, it's not.
Okay. Huh. I'm watching it trade live. I don't know if it's delayed. I mean, there's no reason for it to be delayed.
This is as of 12 minutes after.
Yeah, this is 12 minutes after too. Huh.
Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it's trading that lag. I'll have to check it out.
Okay.
I see gold trading at 227.60 up on the screen.
I don't have the gold.
Let me go see gold real quick. I just want to go see what gold is. Yeah, now that's right. Okay, and this is
Just wanted to let you know, man.
no. I hear. I don't know why it's running delayed like that. So
If you go with CME Silver quotes, it'll pop up.
okay,
CME Gold quote, it'll
Right.
pop up.
right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye. All right. So let's see. I just wonder what contract they're showing at 26. I bet that is. Let me just go check, but I think that contract is the. It may not be the April contract anymore. They may be following. Let me just double check here. I bet the front month now has moved. That's probably why we're seeing the discrepancy. So gold right now, the front month is well, open interest wise. Yeah, it's the June contract. That's what they're doing. They're reflecting the June contract there. Let's go to silver, see what they're doing. And for silver, it's the May contract. It's the May contract? Yeah, May contract. And that makes sense to me. So that's the May contract. Let me just double check my silver here. Yeah, that's the May contract. That's trading right. It's right where it should be. Okay. Yeah, with a high of 25.97.5. Excellent. Okay, that's fine. So right now, let me just double check it right here. Throw it up on the screen. I see what he's looking at. They have a settlement of 25 even. That's why. The exchange is showing now a settlement of 25 even. Or actually, they're showing a settlement of 24,977. Let me just ask Robin. Let me just check with him. This is fascinating when this does happen. This is interesting. All right. Yeah, you know what? Check out the contract on. They're showing a settlement yesterday of 24.977.
I'm just looking at the last.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I'm just saying. That's what it's going on. So that's why it's showing so high.
They are higher. Gold and silver.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're using the June contract now.
Yeah, they moved them up. Well, I'm looking at April. It's up 47.
Right. Right. Yeah, April right now is, yeah, April's there, but I mean, I just saw it on the tape. It was the
I
June
just
contract.
wanted to let you
Yeah.
know so you
No,
can
I know. I was just trying to figure it out. Yeah, I was trying to figure it out because it influences the charts. Okay, doke. Thank you for the heads up.
yeah, you can always just go CME silver quote or CME gold quote and it'll pop up.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. So that's what's going on in the metals complex. Let's see one last thing. Let's see what the platinum looks like right there. There's platinum trying to lift back up, but just on the edge. Actually, look at that. The weekly is falling apart as we speak. It is falling apart, which is very curious. All right, traders, from there we'll go over to the energy complex and see what's going on in the energies, unless someone has something to say. Let's see, right there. Let's see, where's it at? There's platinum. Now let's go to crude oil. There's crude. There's May contract down a second day right there. I'll show you there, and we'll put it up on here too at the same time. Right there. It's moving down again. And let's show it to you on the other screen right there. See that pressing down. And holding up in its weekly though. Not having much of a problem on the weekly side of it. Then from there, we go over to Brent and see what the Brent is up to. There's Brent. Brent is trying to move down, but still in the weekly buy, as you can see right there. And daily is trying to press into that sell also at the same time. And then we go over to natural gas right there. Natural gas just staying down steady and days and selling. And you can see it's going back into the weekly sell. And then from there, we go over to 2222. We go to the energy company down in Spain, which should be still underneath the $20 area. Should be still in the like a 1975, something like that. Right there. We'll just make it bigger like that. Trading at 1998. Today's low is $19.87. Still not down in the 75-cent area. Yesterday it settled at 86. Holding up in those 80s, isn't it? Interesting. We'll see how long that stays like that. I'd imagine when Mr. Trump gets elected, this thing will dive. It'll dive even more. Head down. All right. Now let's go take a look at the world markets. Now we just saw, let's go to Taiwan. There's Taiwan going to the highs of the last 10 weeks, doing fine, taking off. See the weekly doing fine. It's been in that weekly buy for 10 weeks. Daily buy for 4 days now. This is the 4th day. And let's go take a look at, where's that at? Let's go look at the Kospi. Right there. There's the Kospi. Kospi's doing the same thing. It's leaping up over the 2750 area. And it's in a buy for 2 days now. So, and that's the South Korean index. Taking off with that, the Nikkei right there. There's the Nikkei. Same way, it's been in a buy for 4 days. And, the weekly buy for 10 weeks. And then we'll go to the all ordinaries. Where's the, unless I see the Nifty. There's the Nifty 50. Let's look at the Nifty 50. Nifty 50 is still having some problems in India. They're knocking it down a little bit. Look at today. You can see it's trying to kick up some strength, but we're in a daily sell for 3 days there. And weekly sell for 2 weeks. And then we'll go look at all ordinaries out of Australia. And it went into the buy yesterday. And second day in a buy. and it's been in a weekly buy for 10 weeks now. All right, from there we go over into the let's see what Hong Kong's looking like this morning. There was a lot of wishing and hoping that there'd be some stimulus. You can see there Hong Kong's 2 days in a buy, but it's also 2 weeks in a sell. So it doesn't seem to be lifting anywhere in particular. And today they're driving it down. It could be going into the sell as we speak. Or it might have closed in it. We'll have to wait till this evening to see what the 21 looks like there. And then from there we'll go over to the Hang Seng. Right there, there's the Hang Seng. Hang Seng's been in a sell for 5 days. But it was a good pop here today. Look at that. That was a good pop on the upside. But the weekly is pushing into the sell also. So, and there was, I heard somebody say something when they were like when they were talking about the Swiss dropping a 0.25 percentage point, they started talking about the world economy, and they you could tell that they were unhappy. You know, it's like maybe China will finally start to stimulate and grow. That's what they were saying. The only way they stimulate and grow is if America grows, because they're like, you know, they're dependent on the American economy. They're not independent. Let's see. We go. Where do we go from there? From there, we go over to the DAX. See what the DAX is doing? There is the DAX this morning. They're all lifting up. This is a third day in a buy, and 10 full weeks in a weekly buy. The CAC 40. Where is the CAC 40? Right there. The Paris exchange. We got that in a buy for the last couple of days. Trying to push down the data. Look at that. They popped it up and knocked it down. You see that it's trying to push the algorithm into the minus. It's starting to play with that. But all the 10 weeks in a buy. So, and then we'll go look at the FTSE. I wonder if the FTSE took a jump the way the currency did. Well, you can see it's still in that weekly buy with no problem. You can see that expansion yesterday. 2 days in a buy. And they anticipated it yesterday. They went into the buy. This is the second day in a buy. So that's the FTSE. And then from there, we shoot over to, let's go to Bitcoin first. There's Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to be trying to bottom out in here. I know that the ETF is kind of slid into a daily buy, but the Bitcoin itself has not. But they're both in 10-week buys when it comes to the weekly. Then from there we'll go over to the S&P 500. Right. Where's S&P at? Right there. There's the S&P 500. That's yesterday's move, and today they're doing, it's firm above it. You can see that. So this is a third day in a buy there. Take a look at the NASDAQ 100 right there. Same situation. Third day in a buy. It's climbing up again, and 2 weeks in a buy. And then the Dow Jones Industrial Average. See the same situation. 3 days in a buy now. It's actually, it was had a red dot, so it wasn't in a buy then. It was just the algorithm was in the buy. Then yesterday it went into the buy, and today it should be up in the buy even more because of that. Oh, okay, no, I'm wrong. There you are. So that's it, right? That doesn't make any sense. What is that? I'll have to check the data feed on that. Either way, the strength has been, and it's been in a buy for a couple of days now, 3 days. And the weekly, 2 full weeks. Interesting. And then we'll look at, there was talk that the Russell 2000 and so forth should be stronger. They were saying that, this might help out the very speculative stocks with interest rates dropping. And you can see yesterday they ran it nice and strong from up over 50 points. Went from 2,050 to 2,100. And it's backing off a little bit today. Nothing major, but it is backing off. Ooh. Nope, that didn't do it. Let's try this again. Go like this. There it is. So you can see here it's higher than yesterday's close, but it's moving down from its highs today. That's what it is. So that is that. That is where we're at. So, ooh. Let's see what's there. So, traders, this is Doc from North America. Everybody have a safe and smart day of trading, and we'll get back to you, and we'll put a title in for this too. Today's title will be something like, what should today's title be? Title today will be the Fed put is alive, and the Fed put is well, and let's see, Fed put. Let's go back to there. Cancel. Let's go like that. Let's do that again, and we'll call it today's title will be. Trying to type it and read it, say it at the same time. So today's title will be Fed put alive and well. How's that? That sounds about right to me. Alive and well. There we go. All right, traders, this is Doc saying bye-bye. Did I sing? I don't know if I sang. Let's sing again. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Bye-bye.